Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for being so patient, and everyone here was, pretty on time, which is really awesome. So today's session is the 40K to 400K formula, and I see a lot of new faces here, which is really, really awesome. What we're going to go through today is going to be all about the strategies that we use to help Aussie-based e-commerce businesses grow. We're going to go through some of those, and then just do a little bit of website feedback, which is why I've asked for anyone who already has a website, leave a link, as a few others already have, in the chat below. And I just want to cover something quickly, guys. So. This is a bit of a disclaimer. These workshops we do use for marketing purposes. So I've linked you our YouTube channel. This will go on our YouTube tomorrow. So just understand that towards the end, when we do some questions and answers, your faces will be on there at some point. So just know if you do have your webcam and mic on and you do interact, that you are okay with being on our YouTube channel because we cannot edit this afterwards as we use it for marketing content. So just make that clear, everybody, as long as you're comfortable with all that, and we'll kick things off. So I want you guys to try and put away the next 60 minutes if possible. Like I said before, it does sometimes go a little bit longer. So if you can, that's awesome. If not, if you got rugrats in the back or pets running around, that's no problem as well. It's kind of typical of this hour of the day. So no stress at all. I do want as many webcams on as possible. We do quite a lot of interaction. I do see a lot of faces here, which is lovely. And lastly, I think I've already done this with a little bit, a few of you, which is good. There is the chat function in Zoom. Now, again, these are interactive sessions, so I am going to be asking questions throughout. And it is, to get the most out of it, I do encourage you to be interactive. So just to make sure everyone's clear with that, we all know how it works, and we can all use a chat function. Can I just get a yes in the chat, just so I know that we're all on board? If no, then I'll know I probably have to re-explain that. But let me see, guys. If that's all good, then we can move on. Yes, 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 yes. Good, good, good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So a couple things we want to cover today, a couple goals that we get out of these sessions. And the first one is going to be all about how to turn browsers into buyers. And this is really talking about conversion rate and conversion rate optimization. And just to quickly explain what conversion rate is. So say you have a website and 100 people land on it, one makes a sale, or one person buys from you. That's a 1% conversion rate. Now, if you had 5 sales, that'd be a 5% conversion rate. So what we really focus on is helping people to get that conversion rate as high as possible. So when people do land on your websites, they actually become customers and you're running a profitable business. Secondly is, well, a lot of people here probably have already tried running ads or something like that, or working with an agency, or just getting help with the business previously. And maybe you haven't had success in the past and you're still looking for what to do to see that success. We're going to go through a couple things on why that's probably not worked for you previously and what you need to be doing moving forward. And lastly, I want you to leave with a very solid plan on, well, we'll go through this today with a couple of people in the audience, but I want everyone here to really be clear on what they need to focus on specifically in the next 90 days to start growing your business as fast as possible. Now, there are a couple questions people usually ask me when it comes to this workshop before they jump on. And usually it's just that you want to know, is this going to work for you? Is this actually relevant to you? Is it worth spending your time here with us for this afternoon? And it kind of breaks down to 3 smaller sub questions I usually find. And the first one is, will it work in my niche, the product that I'm selling? It's very unique, or it might be kind of out there product. And I want to know, will the things that we talk about today work for you? Short answer is yes. We worked with just about any niche and any product there is in the e-commerce space. And what we're going to go through today is going to be relevant for your niche. Secondly, is it going to work at your size? So we have people who watch this who are growing their business to $100,000 a month. We have a lot of people here who are just thinking about starting the Shopify store, who don't even have a product yet. Guys, it doesn't matter where you're at. What we're going to teach you as people who are just starting is the same stuff that we do for people who are scaling their businesses. So the stuff we go through today will be relevant to you no matter what size you're at. And lastly, is it working now, the stuff we go through? And that's a really important question, guys, because there is a lot of information out there that is not up to date, that is old stuff that's just out there because it's people like to kind of sell and make easy money. But what we do here, guys, it is all derived from the work that we currently do with our clients who run e-commerce businesses. So everything we share with you is proven every day with our strategies. It's directly from the results that we get from that work. So it is current now and is going to be effective for your business. And there's a specific type of person that we want to help when it comes to e-commerce. Firstly, it's going to be someone who's passionate, and you can draw passion from a lot of sources. You might be passionate about your product, and you just want to get that product out there as much as possible because it's like your family story, or you just believe in it so much. Or maybe you're someone who is just really business savvy and you're really keen to grow a business. Or you might be someone who just has a really strong why, like you're doing this to create a legacy for your family. Whatever it may be, as long as you can find passion in this, you're the kind of person I want to help. But if you can't really get yourself motivated out of bed in the morning, there's not much that we can do to help you. So if you're passionate about this, this is definitely worth your time. And some of you might have got into e-commerce and felt a little bit overwhelmed, right? You might have noticed that there's a lot of kind of plates to spin, there's a lot of things to juggle, and even those who've been doing it for a while, you might find there's a lot to manage. And what we really want to do today is to help you kind of overcome that overwhelm and just laser in on this is what you need to be doing next to get really clear on that path. And lastly, the goal, as it is for I'm sure everybody here, is we're doing this because we need to make money. We need to make an income. We have to be able to actually draw an income from the business that we're building. It's not just to pay the ATO or manufacturers or ads managers or whatever it may be. We need to make sure that we are building profitable businesses. And that's a really big focus for us today on this call. So a couple of reasons. I'll introduce Paul, by the way. Paul here, which you would have seen in the video when you actually registered. He's the CEO of our agency and our private community, e-commerce circle. So I'll bring Paul on to quickly introduce himself to you guys and basically give you a bit of a why you should give us the next hour of your time, really.
All right, cool. So first off, guys, thanks for being here again. Appreciate you all joining us, and you're probably busy and so forth. But short version is I've been in the e-commerce space since 1997. So back when Rod was a teenager. Started my first brand called Warcom at mum and dad's house. Sold that to a public company in 2014 after selling at $40 million worth of products. For whatever reason, after that, I was about 2 weeks later, I went and started an agency and started working with e-commerce brands again. So that business is called Insightful. Now, Insightful now builds about 100 Shopify sites a year. I'm the CEO of the e-commerce circle, where we're coaching nearly 300 brands at the moment. So myself and the 15 other coaches in the community. So I've been in e-commerce for a very long time. I've never actually had a boss. All I've ever done is e-com. I like to think I'm really good at building e-com brands. I did a video this afternoon where I shared some screenshots of some of the brands that we're working with, and take a lot of pride in all the people that we're, making rich and also making their brands good as well. So I've built teams, big teams. I've worked with agencies and freelancers and everything you can possibly imagine. I've probably helped just about everyone sell anything you can possibly think of on the internet as well. I like to think that I take complex problems and solve them for people very quickly and kind of see where people need to go on their e-commerce journey. Because a lot of people come to me and they're quite confused or overwhelmed or they're crushing it and they're still, need help. So, so that's kind of my thing. I'm also a dad. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So big part of why I do what I do, obviously, is to give them a good life. But I work with a lot of family founded e-com brands too. So mum and dad, husband and wife, nana, pop and so forth. But I want to help you guys build e-commerce businesses that achieve 3 things. 1, it's a business that you're super happy to go to work every day and build. 2, it's very profitable. 3, it's a business that, can run as much as it possible on its own so that you can do the stuff that matters most in your life, like spending time with your kids or walking your dog or whatever it is that you're interested in. So because so many e-commerce coaches out there at the moment that are, subscribed to the hustle culture and all that kind of thing, and you're working 70 hours a week and you're doing lots in revenue, but you're not making any money at the end of the day. So, that's my elevator pitch. So,
no, thanks for that. And the kind of bottom line I want to get to after that is just to let you guys know and just reassure you, the things we are going to teach you, it's not just theory. This is literally coming from the results that we get with these brands. So it's all based off real Aussie brands, and that's going to be like what we share with you today. And look, a couple of screenshots. I'm not going to hang on this too long. These are just taken from the back end of some of the brands we work with. You might see some numbers that might be a little daunting, or maybe just some watching this, maybe it's like expected, but it is possible, and we do this kind of every day with these guys. I want to take you through a couple case studies quickly. And all of these, by the way, guys, you can find on YouTube and find these people and even just send them a message and verify if you'd like. But look, this is Steve from Holdcom. So as you can see in the top right, he sells high quality Hold and Commodore parts. And he came to us with a business that was already doing about 170,000 a month. And he just wanted to scale it. He was finding it very hard to profitably scale it from there. And basically, look, we took a look at the web pages that he had and we really optimized them for the ads that he was running. So we really optimized that conversion rate. And then we really just tinkered with that digital strategy that we had. And basically within 4 months, we got him to 250K a month. And this is pretty old, to be honest. This probably needs to be updated, but it works for people who are scaling their businesses as well already, what we go through. But then even someone like Paul and Delane, lovely couple. These guys, they really did a lot of markets. Some people here might be doing a lot of pop-ups and markets. They sell like protein and collagen products, which I got in my pantry here. They're really good products, guys. You should check them out, actually. But look, they had a product that everyone loved. They were doing really well at markets, doing about 7 or 8K a month. And then we got to go online, but they just didn't really have the know-how on how to do it. And that's where we came in. We helped them to, they had the product, but we helped them to create that high converting website, really nail that brand messaging. And then from there, it was just, okay, now we got to get traffic to the site. And within a few months, they're doing about 50K a month. And last we checked, I think they had like 120K a month, I think, which is pretty crazy. This isn't even recent as well. So they're kind of like at the point where they don't want to grow anymore because they love how their life is and they really don't want to change it. They're pretty happy with how things are going. But even if you're someone who's like really not tech savvy and even smaller, for example, Karen was doing a couple grand a month on Etsy. And we basically helped her to transfer over to Shopify. She built this website you're looking at, by the way, using something called a Converter Kit. And she built that, and now she's on Shopify. She runs a business how she wants. She's now doing about 15K a month, and is geared up for a pretty big 2026. And even if you're here and you don't have a product, and you're thinking, look, I don't have a cool product that I already make. I don't know like exactly what I want to do just yet. Look, guys, I wanted to meet Jade. Jade is also she works with us too. She was on one of these workshops about a year ago. An exact same position as you, didn't have a product yet. And I'll tell you exactly what we told her then. And same thing that we kind of preach in the e-commerce circle is always start with, your area of passion. If you have something that you already have authority in, then I would always try and sell down that route because it's so much easier for you to get up and do the branding to really market the product because you already have that level of knowledge in it. And you can build yourself as an authority and build trust a lot easier. You don't have to, guys, but I always recommend it. That's what Jay did. She actually went into like women's physio products. You can see she's a mother of two, has a full-time job as a physiotherapist. So she's got no time in the world, but she still managed to, on her own, just with our kind of support, build a business that now is doing about 20K a month. And she's kind of in that place where she's thinking of going all in this business and quitting her job, which is awesome. But yeah, guys, if you don't even have a product, this is still going to be very, very relevant for you. And I have a bit of an unhidden agenda. I know I spoke to a few of you on the phone already and told you what we do, but honestly, the goal of this session is to just let you know this is what we do. This is how we do it. We're going to give you some real examples to get people's websites up. But at the end, I'm going to share with you, honestly, how you can continue to get our support if you did enjoy today. But I just want your kind of your permission first to do that. So if you are cool, but at the end of the session, after we kind of give all the good value and stuff, if you're happy with me to kind of share how you can work with us moving forward, just drop a yes again in chat. That way I know that you're kind of you're in for it. And if not, you don't really have to hang around to the end. You can kind of leave at any point that you want. But just let me know, guys. Drop a yes. James in, Justin in. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Victor, yeah, beautiful. Yes, Paul. Cheers, mates. Let me know, guys. If no, again, no worries because I'm not going to hold you here any longer than you have to be. Thank you, Cherie. Lovely. Thank you, guys. All right. So this is going to help me to understand when we do a bit of feedback with you guys. It's going to help me to understand what stage of business you're at. Now, there's no, I don't want everyone to like feel a little bit, nervous about sharing this. There's a lot of people who are just in the beginning stage, so that's you don't, don't worry about, feeling bad sharing that. But it's going to be very useful for us to know where everyone is at here, so we can tailor the session to kind of your level. So let me know: are you in the startup phase? Are you in the setup phase? Grow up or scale up? We got one Justin, startup with Rod, awesome. Startup Victor, Cherie, Glenn, startup. Perfect. Startup Sarah, lovely. Scaler for James, yes. Tennis for startup. Cool. So a lot of startups here, which is good. That means we know exactly who we're dealing with. Naomi's in scale up, no worries. And Naomi, obviously everyone else is in startup, but if you have a specific question, how we address it for your business, just by all means, just ask, and we'll make sure that we kind of addressed your specific business as well. Perfect. Thank you for sharing, guys. So when we kind of share these things, a lot of people kind of are skeptical as to how we get the results. And I'll just let you know, the reason we're able to get the results with businesses consistently is because we have a system in place. It's not luck, it's not magic, it is a system. And the system comes down to this triangle here. It's the more orders model. And it is the three things that we work on with any business who comes to us who, even if they're already doing 100 grand and they want to do 200 grand, we work on these three things. Even if you're coming to me and you're saying, I'm starting from scratch, I want to learn how to build a business, we teach these three things. Now, they all start with S, but just to see where everyone's at, I want you to have a guess in the chat. No bad guesses. Just let me know, what do you think each three of these things may be? The three major focuses in e-commerce where these are the kind of levers we can pull to start growing a business. Startup from Jeffrey, no worries at all. No worries, Jeffrey. That's completely fine. Thank you for jumping in. Let me know, guys. What do you think these three sides might be? Have a guess. All starting with S.
So I assume that everyone who's older than 30 knows how to play Hangman. So the point of this game is you've got to fill in the blanks. So as Chris said, they all start with S, right? And then they've obviously got the two top ones have 5 words. All right. And I'll give you a tip. The second letter starts with T on the two top ones. And there's no spaces in
Okay.
there's no hyphens in the words, Rose.
So let's see. We got setup, sales, success. So sales and success is kind of the result of doing this. Again, sales is the result of using these. Start. No worries. Look, I'm just gonna put everyone out of their misery here, Paul, I reckon. So let me go to the next slide. So our three sides, guys, and again, these are the three things that we focused on strategy from Rod, exactly right. The first one is store. This is all about website and website conversion rate. It's a massive deal for us. As I mentioned before, if you're a small Aussie business and you do not have unlimited funds to spend in growing your business, that means, say, when you do marketing and you spend $1,000 to get people to your website, if your conversion rate is 1%, you're going to struggle a lot to be profitable on that money, and you're going to then bleed yourself dry and not be able to continue your business. This is how a lot of people kind of crash. So what we really focus on, guys, is how to get your website converting as high as possible. And that's exactly like the point here, guys. It just means that when you do get traffic to your website, it's going to convert a lot higher and you will be profitable. And it's the difference between a business that tanks early and a business that is successful generally. Another thing that we really, really focus on, guys, is the story. This is all about the who we are, what we do, and why people should be buying from us. And we usually kind of display this in what we call a brand messaging strategy. And that is usually it's the actual words that go on your website, the phrases. And a lot of people skip this. They don't think it's important, but let me give you an example. Say you're at a pop-up, you sell your product in a market, you get some sales, or you have a brick and mortar. People who buy from you, who come in store, they get to talk to you, the owner, they get to learn about the brand, they get to learn, get a good feeling about the person behind the brand. And this kind of informs their purchase. Yet when we go online, a lot of people kind of just skip that stuff. It becomes more of a brochure. And it means that they're not learning who you are, like what you do, and why they should spend their hard-earned money with you and not say Kmart or anyone else who can sell cheaper versions or undercut you in pricing or just spend more money in ad budget. So we really nail these two things as small Aussie businesses to allow us to compete in really, really competitive environments. And if you're a small Aussie business and you're in any industry that has bigger players, you need to nail these two things. Otherwise, you're going to find it very, very hard to get off the ground. And the last bit is strategy. Strategy is all about how do we sustainably grow month on month. And when I say sustainably, I mean, look, we got to make sure we can make it to the finish line. And if we don't, our business, it'll just combust. So that means when we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step in the business? You got to think, okay, what do I need to focus on? Have I got a website that doesn't convert yet? Then I need to make sure that I'm focusing on doing that next. Have I got a website that's ready for traffic? Awesome. How can I use the budget that I do have to profitably get ad spend incrementally more and more each month so I can grow my business steadily? We don't do crazy businesses that go peaks and then troughs. We do consistently growing businesses that you can kind of figure out your next months and really, really just make sure that you're on top of things as you go. So, guys, these are the three things we focus on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple people's websites from your chat. So if you haven't already, make sure you leave a link to your website now. And we're going to pick one or two of them, and Paul's going to come up and actually just kind of audit it live and let you know, based on these three things, what we would change for your business so we can show you all kind of in real time. So I'll kind of bring Paul on the stage here, but guys, give us your links in the chat and we'll bring up some of you and give you a live kind of audit on your website. I think we had some earlier today. I don't think Francis is in yet, unless I haven't seen Francis.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, as Chris said, and I know he's like a million miles an hour, which is good, but we're going to focus on two parts of this to just to get started with. So your store and your story. So as you said, have we got any volunteers / victims that
Naomi
have sites?
Naomi with Miko Art and Decor. Let's get
Okay.
Naomi on. Naomi, are you there? Can you come off mute and maybe introduce
Yeah, I
yourself?
am here.
Awesome.
I
Good to
I
have you.
just I have you on mute because I do have kids running around.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
So,
Go ahead, Paul.
yeah, all good. All right, so I'll share my screen. So let's have a look here. Um, replace and so, whilst it's okay, it's totally okay, by the way, if the kids are in the background doing kids stuff that kids do. My kids are likely to come in and, start screaming. So give us the background on the brand, like when you started it, why you started it, what makes you unique. And you can consider this a bit of a pitch as well, because, lots of people are going to see this. So make it sound good so that people come along and buy lots of your products as well.
Well, I wasn't expecting this, so I'm a bit nervous.
That's okay. Me
Well,
too.
it's I'm a Christian. Um, I just feel like there's not, well, I couldn't find anything for my own space. I'm also a textile designer by trade, so I've worked in the industry for 20 years in the homeware industry. And so I know that there's trends and color schemes and things, and a lot of artists, they do they're quite skilled, but sometimes they just miss the mark because they're not marketing to the current trends. Like people won't buy a piece of artwork if it doesn't match their decor. Um, and yeah, I wanted something that was Christian themed, that was inspirational, but not, in your face. I think
Yep.
being brought up in a Christian home, there was many times my mum had scripture or inspirational things on the wall, and I would often sit there and something would catch my eye and it would just speak to me at that moment. And that was where my heart is at with the store.
Okay.
We're collaborating with my cousin as well, who I've known quite a long time, and we just wanted to round up eventually artists just to contribute. We're just about to launch a coffee table book that has taken quite a lot of time, and that's Stillness in the Southland, and it's got uh, pictures of Australia. Oh, sorry, yeah, and poems alongside it.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Right.
yeah, so we offer
And
digital.
got it. So this is digital artwork, or is it you supply you like you
No,
buy it and get it shipped? That's what's the process there? Talk
these
to me
are
about
all
that.
original art. These are all original artworks from myself and my cousin. We offer
Okay.
canvas. We offer framed.
Yep.
Framed
Yep.
prints. Frames are made. They're all drop shipped. And yeah, so we offer prints. Everything's been tested. Quality's
Okay.
fantastic on all products. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So let's jump into a few things and totally, all good if people are nervous and so forth. I have terrible anxiety myself. That's why I do these on the internet and not in person. So for those of you that do watch this, like, like please, yeah, we're here to support you and help you grow your brands and so forth. Now let's do a couple of little things here. So now here's what happens, right? So people land on your website and they've heard about
Yeah.
you and they're like, what does Naomi do? I've heard she's got nice artwork and so forth. Now, I'm going to talk about two different things that matter here. So first, I'm going to get into the story of the brand. You got like the convergence of faith and art and so forth, right? A couple other bit of words. There's no other words that are immediately popping out at me and being like, oh, I know why I'm here, right? So when we coach and mentor brands to build a better story into their site, the things that we're working on first and foremost is there is a sentence that goes here, and this is called a heading one tag. And I'll leave this there for the moment. And then there's another one called a H2 tag. All right. So again, H2 and H1 just means the most important heading and the second most important heading. Right. Then come down here and we utilize this space and this section in here. These are called trust statements. The trust statement is like, 500 plus 5-star reviews. We ship from Australia and we I'm going to give you the answers in a minute to what that is. So now, why we focus so heavily on this stuff before is because when people land on your website, the number one thing that you want them to actually do is to start reading these words on your website. And in their mind, they start going, yes, I like what that said. Yes, I like what that said. and then another yes, and another yes, and another yes, and yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Right. So, because when they do that, and when you achieve what you're trying to achieve with that outcome, then they're more likely to scroll down and immediately they're going to go, I'm going to buy whatever it says in her bestseller section or her trending section or whatever. Right. So, because what happens is when you start running ads and so forth for this brand, you need to be very specific about what you say, how you say it, who you say it to, so that when someone clicks on your ad in meta ads and they land on your website, whatever it says in your ad, it also says the same thing on your landing page. So people have gone, yep, 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 in your ad, come over here, yep, 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 yep. And they go, cool, I'm going to give Naomi all my money and make my house beautiful now. So let's do this bit of an exercise for you. And there's a few things that really matter when it comes to doing this properly. And I can't stress this enough. If you don't do this bit properly, you can have the most beautiful website and the most pretty photos, and you can have free shipping and you can have all this other stuff. And your conversion rate is always going to be like 1 to 2 to 3% when it should be like 5, 6, 7. Right. And we'll talk about why that's such a big deal. But for example, I would have something in here that said, more along the line, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, and I know I've done this like really, really quickly, but I would say something more like, modern Christian wall art that brings peace into your home. So people go, oh, yes, Christian. And again, I did that in about 3 seconds. Like, for context, when we do this for people properly, it can take me like an hour. It can take me 5 hours, right? So that's the difference between the brands that I work with that do $10,000 of revenue a month versus like $10 million of revenue, or, like $1 million or $2 or $3 million a month, right? Because this stuff becomes so powerful. So potentially, I've just done that. But what I've done there, people actually search for this stuff, Christian wall art, in Google, right? So then they come to your website and like, oh, yes, it does that. And it brings peace into your home. I would imagine, and I've got many Christian friends. There's no Christian friends alive that are going to go, I don't want that. Everyone's going to go, yes, that sounds good, right? Then secondary, you'd have something along potentially, and feel free to correct me if I'm totally off base with this, but, and this would be a H2, scriptured in pride prints, canvas framed art, so every room feels calmer and brighter and anchored in God's promises. Again, it might be, Paul, that's a 5, 4 out of 10 or whatever. However, someone would read that and they'll go, yes, I want the prints, I want the canvas, I want it framed. Every room should feel calmer, it should feel brighter, and I certainly like promises, right? So again, I have 9 other options that I could have given you that sounded, different to that. But so far, most people would go, yep, most people will go, yep, right? Now, secondary is we would come and have something along the lines of stuff like this. So you do instant digital delivery as well, don't you? And you do framing as well. So people will have options. Is that right?
Yeah. So just so they've got, if someone didn't have a lot of money, they still can purchase something, but it's not as the same. Like, it's different.
Yeah,
as in,
considerably different.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay. All right. So, what would we do here? So are they designed in Australia? Chris, can you mute whoever it is that's talking?
Yeah, they're designed.
That's designed in Australia?
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I would be doing down here. So, for example, this one's a bit of a curly one that I'm trying to come up with for your brand because it is a bit different. So, but, you'd have things, and these are not perfect, but you go, it's premium print quality. It is, do you do worldwide shipping?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So worldwide shipping, people go, oh, yep, I want that. Do you do, what else would we do? Is gifting a big part for you, for your brand?
We haven't got a lot of gifts as such. We are, like I said, we're just doing a coffee table now, which I'm printing. It's in print right now.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So for example, again, these aren't perfect, but to my point, like I would normally have like 5 or 6. So again, someone will come here and they go, yep, read that. Yep, that. I want premium quality. I want that. I want this. I want to read the thing that says, it's in stock and it ships within 24 hours. I want to read the thing that says, we have 500 plus customers that have left us a 5-star review. I go, great. I want to read the thing that says, if for some reason you don't love it, you can return it. So where I'm going with
Yeah.
this is because as we start to formulate all of this stuff on your website, all of these yeses lead people to actually scroll down on the page and buy more stuff from you, right? And in addition to that, you would have like a very unique, and I don't know whether you've got what we call a unique selling proposition somewhere. Let's have a quick look. So there's another piece of text that's also missing on here. So yeah, there is. I'm going to draw in here. So there should be a section that sits around here that is like your, let's call it like your claim to fame. It's like, why do you do what you do? And people can read it in like one sentence. And it should say something like this potentially. So again, preface this by saying when we do this, it takes much longer. But what does this say? So modern Christian wall art, created in Australia, available as instant download or premium prints, canvas framed pieces made to fill your home with God's promises, with custom verse options too. So again, people read that and they go, another yes, right? So why I'm banging on about this, guys, so much is because when we do this properly, we also take all of this stuff and put it all in your meta ads, right? Because the single most important thing that matters when it comes to running really, really good meta ads is you need consistency between what you say in your ad, who you say it to, how you say it, and then what happens when they land on the website. And then if there's congruency between the both of them, your conversion rate will go through the roof, right? But if you just go and turn on an ad and you're just like, hi, we sell cool art that is Christian, whatever, you know what I mean? And then they go to your website and I don't read any of this, your conversion rate will flop, right? So, and I'm going to show you another thing. I don't always do this, but sometimes depending on how receptive the audience are is, so when we do this for a brand, I want to walk you through this process so you understand the depth of it. But so this amazing sheet that I'm going to show you here is how we come up and do this for most people. So you can see the depth that we go to, right? So I'll blast through this so you guys get a bit of a high level, but you go, well, why are you doing this as a brand? And what are your personal values? And then what are the brand values, right? You can see the headers. What beliefs do we hold for our brand? What does our voice of our brand sound like? What is the personality of the brand? And this goes on and on and on and on and on, right? Right until we start going, all right, cool, well, that's who we are, but who is our customer avatar? So Naomi would go, it's obviously Christians. It's probably women that are 35 plus. They probably earn 100 grand, 150K a year. They live in this suburb. They read these books. They are interested in these kind of things. They've got kids. They've got 2 cats. They've got da-da-da-da-da. They go to church on the weekend. We go, all right, great. And then we go, well, what do we say to her, right? So now I won't go through all of this, but I want to take you to the final page of this because when we do this properly, like I said, it can take hours to do this, but we go here. As we go through that, we come very, very clear on what your H1 is and then what your H2 is and what your trust statements are and what your positioning statement is. And for brands that don't nail this properly, so this is what we refer to as the story. This is one of the biggest issues that you're going to have when it comes to conversion. Does this make sense so far to everybody watching this? Anyone go like, oh, I'm confused. It's tech, right? Give me a now, give me a yes, give me a like, whatever you want in the comment. So
Yeah, couple
now,
thumbs up.
couple thumbs up. All right.
Yeah.
So now, if we go on to the other part of this for Naomi's brand, the second part of this is like, what do you do from a conversion rate optimization perspective? Now, if you guys want to go on, when you next catch up with your friends and you're chatting to them about your e-commerce business and you go, oh, I've been doing conversion rate optimization, and they'll think you're a genius. All that means is it means you're making changes to your website so that you are optimizing how your website converts, right? So now that you know that, you'll go, oh yeah, go me. But when it comes to building a high converting website, there are largely like 5 pages on your website that matter. There's the homepage, right? Which this is Naomi's homepage. She has, here is a collection page. You can tell it's a collection page because it says collection. If for some reason you guys aren't using Shopify and you're using something else, please start using Shopify as soon as you can. Everything else is rubbish. So I know some people start there, but we can help you transition. So next page is your product page, right? Final page is, I'm going to add to the cart. So I'll pick something and we might want to change the add the cart button so that I can see it a bit easier, but here is your cart.
Oh, okay.
Right. So This is important, and then the final page. Now, when it comes to conversion rate optimization, there is like 400 different things that need to span your homepage, your product page, your collection page, your cart page, your checkout page. If you don't have them, all of these pages are never going to convert as good as they can. Why that becomes such a big issue is because as you send more traffic to your website, and let's assume you send 100 people to your product page and 1% convert, right? What does that mean? How many people have bought something from you if your conversion rate is 1%? Throw the answer out into the wild, into the air, whatever you want. It's one, right? So now it would be way better if it was 4 people, wouldn't it? Right? So I'm going to have a look at a few things on Naomi's site and be like, here is some really obvious stuff and why it's missing. And then I'm going to go, here's things that I would fix. If we go to her homepage, so 10% off your first order. Let's start at the bottom. So go there. Da, 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 da. So doesn't have the H1, doesn't have the H2, doesn't have the USB. It's good that you've got reviews. Obviously, it's a new business, but you want to get way more reviews. I come into here. Is there different sizes, isn't there, of your products as well?
Yes, correct.
Order? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go down. You know what? We might skip the homepage because you've got beautiful photos. We're going to go straight to your product page to illustrate my point. So a few things, like I'm mindful that you don't have reviews at the moment, but you need to have reviews on your product page so people can read them and be like, oh, great, she's got 9 reviews in that particular product, and it's great. Other really, really obvious things on this page, such as I can't say you add the cart button, right? You also, for those of you that are using Shopify, unfortunately, Shopify has a big, ugly purple button, right? And it says, shop now with Shop Pay. You have to turn it on. So basic things. Yeah. But right, so
Yeah,
all right. It is ugly. Do not turn it off, right? Because 99% of consumers are trained to use that button. So if you get 100 people coming to your website, you're killing your conversion rate. You're not having that button on there because depends how much you like money. If you like to have a successful business, turn it on. If you don't, turn it off. So I'll keep going through. So no one should have that turned off. Now, next thing, it's not immediately obvious to me, how long it's going to take me to get, because I can't see it, right? It doesn't talk about shipping. It's not in the right location. So all of these things need to move as well. They're probably further down, they're hidden. So free shipping and stuff is good, but free shipping should be sitting off here. I landed on your website. This is free shipping is more important to me than 10% off my first order. Now, I won't go through all of it, but I want to show you another thing. So when you guys start working with us, whether we build you a custom website or whether we sell you the converter kit that Chris spoke about, or whether you do the DIY route, here's what goes into a product page, right? So for example, you'll see here, and I'll scroll top to bottom, there is just on a product page, what am I up to here? I don't know, 300 line items, right? So for example, I go through here and I'd be looking at Naomi's site and I'm like, are there reviews? Is there an upsell? Does the description have an accordion, and is there useful information in that? Is there a bookmark, breadcrumbs on the page? How easy it is to see shipping? How easy it is to talk about returns? How easy is it? Right? So I won't give you all of this, but again, this is how much stuff needs to go on a product page for a product page to convert. It's the same with here is a collection page. All of these things need to go on a collection page. Here is a homepage. All of these things need to go on a homepage. Now, the unfortunate bit is that most people go get a Shopify account and they go and get the Dawn theme or the Turbo theme or the Impulse theme or the free theme from Shopify, and they're shithouse, right? They're shithouse because they're easy to use. They don't have any conversion rate elements inside of them. So as you guys and ladies try to build e-commerce brands, and because you're missing all of those things, this is where you get stuck and struggle with your conversion rate, right? Is this making sense so far?
There was one question before I just wanted to bring up for Sarah. She just asked, what about terms and conditions for return? Do people trust if not there? And I'll just add on top, where would you include that info?
Absolutely, have it on. Yeah. So, for some reason you don't love it, return it, and we'll give you a refund within whatever. Yeah, you have to have that sort of stuff sitting. The common objections are I need to know about shipping. I need to know what if I'm not happy. I need to know about what other people say. I need to know why I should trust you. I need to know what it's going to look like in my room. So, for example, I'm looking at this page, and this is a beautiful piece of artwork. I'm like, show me what it looks like on a wall. All right. So that checklist I showed you is just for conversion elements on that side. I've got another conversion rate checklist that is just for images, right? So for example, I'm going to give it to everyone in here just as a free gift. Image optimization blueprint. So I won't give you the other stuff because when you all start working with us, you can do that. But this thing here, for example, this is what you should do in your hero images, right? And this is what you should do if you have a lifestyle image. And this is how you should have close-up shots. And this is what you should do if you have a fashion brand. And this is what you should do with your variants. And this is what you should do with your social proof. So no one's going to teach you this stuff because, unfortunately, not many people in Australia even know how to do it, or globally. But it's important that you understand that, right? As you start taking beautiful photos and as you start building a product page and as you start building a collection page, you go, you know what? I'll do all of these things because if I do half of what's in here, and if I do half of what's in here, and I do a bit of this, you're going to be so far ahead of the rest of the people in the game. No one's going to be able to catch you because what will happen? Someone will go to your website looking for a Christian print versus going to the other one, and they'll be on there and they'll be like, oh, it looks much of a muchness, probably. But they'll be like, that brand didn't talk about shipping. That brand didn't talk about reviews. That brand didn't do this and that and that. I'm going to go with Naomi. Right? Does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to grab that. Please feel free to steal this from me. I said everyone could have a gift. Here is one of them. We'll talk about the theme that we use at the end of everything. So when you go in here, all you need to do is click file, click make a copy, and you can steal it. So the good thing is when you guys start working with us, I have like 50 checklists like this that we give you when you join our community. So what I'm going to do now, and so, you'll be like at the park and blah, 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 talking about conversion rate optimization, and everyone will think that you've been doing it for 20 years. So let's do this. I'm going to actually load up a whiteboard and I'm going to map out a bit of a plan for Naomi because she's doing a lot right. Like she's got beautiful photos, but the site is going to hold her back in her business. So that's easy to fix though. So he's presenting and let me know if this works. Chris and Roxy. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. Hang on. Try again. Where is it? It's my first day on the internet today. Sometimes I don't know how to use Zoom. Let's give it a crack. All right. Let's do this.
Yeah, we see the old one now.
Cool. So first I'll clear it, get rid of all junk. So Chris and I are going to talk about what this thing is later as well. So at the end, what a fast path plan is, but I'm going to do it for free for Naomi. And at the end of the call, we'll talk about how we can do this with you one-to-one. So here is what I would be doing if I was Naomi in order to build this brand. So number one thing is she's got to nail her brand story. So again, I went into it. I spent 2 minutes on it. We can help people do it properly. So number one, fix why is that color? Let's choose fix the story, right? So first thing you got to do is fix your story. Got to go through that big Google sheet that I showed you and nail it and go, here's how we do it. Secondary is you want to nail the site. And again, this doesn't take 90 days to do these things. I just do it over a 90-day plan because some people do want to take longer. You can do this in 2 days if you wanted to blast through it. So first one, fix your story. Second one, fix your store. So whether we're trying to fix your site or you just work with us and we help you fix it properly, but you got to make sure all the elements that are in my document go in there. So next thing that you want to do. So once you nail this and you nail that, then the next strategy that you'd be doing would be you'd probably spend a tiny bit amount of money on meta ads, right? So you will take this brand new brand story that you've now got and you know how to talk about your brand. And even if you're not confident talking on camera and so forth, you go get someone who is confident, you hire an actor and they talk about it. Hey, here's what we do. Here's what we sell. Here's who we sell it to. Here's how we help people. Here's how you feel. Here's what your friends think about you. Come over here, say that in the meta ad, right? You could spend $5 a day. You could spend $500 a day. Now you're running an ad to a store that is built to convert properly and the store that is actually going to say the right thing, right? So now, if for some reason people don't buy from you during this process, the only other thing you probably need to be worrying about right now, Naomi, is a new brand, is setting up your email stuff, right? So there's a system called Klaviyo, and I won't go too fancy into what it is, but basically what Klaviyo is, let's assume James went to your website and he's like, yep, I need to buy that, but he got distracted or something, and he didn't buy. All Quavio does is go, like, I'm going to send him an email tomorrow. I'm going to send him an email the day after. I'm going to send him an email about reviews. I'm going to send an email about an article. Da, 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 da. So this thing works automatically. So for a brand like yours, having meta ads running, nailing that, and nailing this, and again, using the story in your email, right? These are the 4 things that you have to focus on. And I would probably go as far as saying 90% of people on this call have these same problems. Right. So is this making sense so far?
We did have a question here, Paul, from Sarah, just asking if talking to camera is stronger content and beautiful like product imagery for an ad. I just said I'd test both personally, but
yeah, test both. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, depends on the product, like artwork, like it depends on how confident you are on camera. I always encourage people, like, immediately, if you are very confident on camera and you're very likable, that's the most important thing. So people go, I get to know her by watching her ads. I get to like her. I get to trust her. So this is called the know, like, trust, buy formula. All right. So write that down if you like. So know them, like them, trust them, buy something. So even if you're not a great speaker like me, and people just go, he says so a lot and he says like a lot and he says whatever, but he knows what he's talking about. And he seems like a good dude. Like, I'm going to work with him. So if that's you, please do it. Like, there is nothing that converts better in 2026 as authentic founders in their video. You don't need to be pretty. You don't need to speak good. You don't need to do anything. As long as you get on there and you're you and you're passionate about what you do and you say the right things, people will buy stuff from you. Right. So, and of course, yes, we've tested it being across from a video and so forth. Makes sense there? So I want to show another thing, why this is such a big deal, because I'm going to turn this off and let's do this exercise though. We're going to do some maths now. And I'm terrible at maths, but thankfully ChatGPT is amazing at maths. So this will be fun to show you guys. So who else on the call is already making sales on their website? Is anyone doing $5,000 a month? Or you're too big, James. You're a monster brand. Someone a bit smaller. I already know who James is, by the way, guys. So someone else, put your Cherie, what numbers are you doing in your e-commerce brand? Aura's doing 10K. All right, cool. And I think I looked at Aura site too. So this is very applicable. All of the stuff that I've said so far, Aura, applies to you, because when I looked at your website yesterday, I was waiting for you to come today so I can tell you the same stuff. So now let's assume she does 10K, right? What's your conversion rate? Feel free to come off mute if you like, or type, or whatever you want to do. That's easy. So she does 10 grand a month. Do you know what your current conversion rate is? Hopefully I get an answer quickly.
Hello.
If not, I'll just... Hey, how you going?
Yeah, good. I don't actually know what my conversion rate is.
All right,
I guess
cool.
I could find it on conversion rate 3%.
3%. Okay. All right. So that's fine. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's a bit of a masterclass in using ChatGPT. So I'm going to talk and it's going to transcribe and then you guys can watch. So, all right. So I'm working with a brand owner and her name is Aura, and she currently does $10,000 a month in sales. Now, her conversion rate at the moment is, let's call it 2%, right? And her average order value, so that means the average amount people pay her is $60, right? So let's use those numbers to start with. So I'm going to put in there. So I think what I said was 10 grand a month, conversion rate's 2%, average order value was $60 or something, right? So we already know she's doing 10 grand. Now let's change a couple of things, right? So I'm going to add more to this. All right. Now let's assume her conversion rate was actually double that amount. And let's assume that her average order value was also double, right? And obviously the way that we're going to do that is because she's going to have a better story and she's going to have a better website that converts better. Now, let's do some math on this and tell me how much more would she be making monthly? Just monthly for now. Everyone see what I did there? I changed two numbers, right? I've made people convert better and I've made people spend more money, right? And these are things that we help people fix in their checkout and their cart and so forth. So here we go. So existing revenue, $10,000 a month, right? So she's roughly getting that many people, blah, 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 blah. If she fixed those two things, she'd be making an extra $30,000 a month. by fixing 2 things, right? Now let's make this spicy. Now, what about if she doesn't do anything and she leaves the numbers like what they were versus the new numbers? So 10 grand is the existing stuff, but with my new numbers, how much more would she be making in revenue over the course of 12 months? So why this is so important is because I meet people all the time, and it'd be someone that's doing like 10 grand a month. And I'm like, so you've got a business that's working. And they go, yeah. And I go, look, you got to get us to build your new website. And they go, it's too expensive. And I'm like, okay. So if Aura did fixed her conversion rate, fixed her average order value, and we haven't even done anything extra yet, she'd make an extra $360,000 a year. Right. So when I go to someone, oh, it might cost you 2 grand for a website, 5 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand, whatever. And they go, oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, how long do you want to not make an extra $360,000 a year, right? And that's before we even help you fix your email or help you fix your Google ads or help you do your social media better or any of the stuff. And half of the stuff you can do yourself, right? Does this make sense? And this is why most e-commerce people struggle for so long, because they're working really, really hard on all the external stuff, right? So you're out there posting on your Instagram and you're out there at 3 a.m. in the morning on Alibaba trying to find your next great product, and you're out there trying to work with an agency that's going, trust me for 6 months and we'll run ads to your website, and then hopefully it works. And then after 6 months, you're like, well, that didn't work. None of these people ever turn around and go, your website's not good and your story is not good and you shouldn't have done any of that before you fix those things. Make sense? So, and I know I'm being quite direct because I don't like people coming back to me again and again and again and again going, oh, I tried more things, Paul, since I last spoke to you. And like, it's still not working. Like, it's not working for this reason. Sometimes I give the analogy that I'm like, I'm assuming there's a few people on the call that are like married, or you got a partner, or you got a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Like, at some point you guys went out and you had to go out on a date. Right. And I assume the ladies on the call, I don't know about the guys, we were at rough and ready, but the ladies on the call probably dressed nice and spoke really nice. Right. And if that happened, you probably went out and met a nice fella, brought him home, happy days, got married, blah, 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 blah. You didn't go out there and you didn't speak really badly and you didn't look bad. Right. But most people's e-commerce businesses are a bit like that. They're out there in their Crocs and their tracksuit pants and they're not speaking very good. And they're like, geez, I don't know why it's not working. Right. So really, really important that we fix this stuff for you. So, and the plan that I pretty much showed for Naomi is probably the exact plan that like every single person on this call needs to go through, right? Any questions about what I've shared so far? And everyone see like why this is so important now? I see a few faces and eyes are just well, you're in the headlights. Yeah, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them and I'll go through them.
Sarah's like it.
Yeah. And I'll say, please take heed of this. Agencies and website designers and everyone else that's going to help try and help you will not help you with this stuff because they actually don't understand it, right? It's taken me, like I said, I'm 45 now, started when I was 16, figured all this stuff out on my own. And that's why I'm like, here's my gift to you guys. Understand this before you do anything else. And it's the reason like, so many people crush it at markets and stuff because, say, for example, Cherie goes to a market and someone walks past her, and I'm not even sure what Cherie sells, right? But like people go, she's lovely, she's nice, she's passionate about her product, she's talking about it, she's making me feel like this. Everyone buys her stuff, right? But when she tries to translate that online, she's like crickets, right? So, all right. So Chris has got some comments. What do we got here? Totally agree about it. And I mean, I also want to say, go on record, like there are many very, very, very good agencies in the space. Like I am not an agency hater. Like, there's a lot of coaches in the market that like they're idiots. They're like agencies are bad, freelancers are bad, this person's bad, They're all pushing their own agenda, because like they don't own agencies. So what you need to do as business owners, you just need to become better equipped when you start working with agencies. So you go, hey, I need you to say this thing about my brand. Because most agencies are very good at running ads, but they're not very good about understanding how you want to talk about your brand and your product and your experience and all that kind of thing, right? So if you nail that, you can work with anybody, and then if they still get a shit result, then you do have a crappy agency. But the same thing would happen if you hired an employee anyway. You brought an employee into your business and you just go, hey, Kevin, run my ads for me. And they're just like, okay, Naomi, we'll put some nice artwork in the ads and we'll hope for the best. You're like, it's not going to work, right? Makes sense. Someone's asked, sorry for my ignorance. What's the question there? What big question? But e-commerce people are very busy on organic TikToks, drive customers to their site. So it's like chicken and egg. One might have an awesome website, but how will we go about discovery? It's not for social media. Aggressive to push potential prospects to go to one's website and discover your awesome product. I'm not understanding the question.
I think it's just the time management thing, is it, Manny? Is it like a well, look, it's a kind of focus on if you're really time limited. The reason why we do the plan that way and not say do everything at one time is because a lot of people need to just focus on one or two things at a time. So for yourself, you kind of got to see like where are you weak right now? Like, does your website convert? If you're already getting traffic and your website doesn't convert, then you know your focus needs to be on making your website convert, on improving that.
Yeah. So I reread it now, and you're like, so some people do heaps and heaps of stuff on TikTok and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, why should we do? It doesn't work. Like, I mean, there's obviously parts to this, right? Like once you've got your beautiful website, once you've got the site converts and it says the story and so forth, then your job on like socials become incredibly easy. You go say whatever you need to say on all those platforms. You hire influencers, they do it. You hire actors, they do it. You hire staff, they do it. Right. So your job becomes like such an easy process. Like we've got a brand that we've worked with for a couple of years and they're doing like millions a month now. Right. And part of their strategy is literally like they will go and find influencers and they'll go, hey, can we give you the product to try it? And then when you try it, and it's a ladies' underwear brand and they're doing millions a month, but they'll go, we just want you to say this in your ads when you talk about our product. And that crushes it, So it becomes very easy over time once you know what to say. So,
yeah.
All right. How are we going for time, Chris? I know everyone's sitting here. I appreciate everyone sitting and listening to me ramble a bit, but
I'll let you guys kind of do you want us to do one more of these with another person's business? Like if you guys got the time, it's kind of want to make sure I see thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'd love to do another business. We had a couple cool ones entered in before.
Yeah, throw one at me and we'll do it. Sure, why not?
I'll just get the recent one, so I'm not picking favorites to you guys. But Mary had newerwear, I think. It is underwear, Paul, so I don't know. Is that okay to share that?
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look.
Mary, you still with us here? Do you want
to give me like a drop shipping score or something?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for jumping on.
Hard with the kids, but yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Good to have you. How have you been enjoying the workshop so far? Has it been helpful?
Yes, absolutely. It has been helpful.
Awesome.
I think especially that checklist, that's really something that works as a guide. I think because I have those things in my mind, like I need to improve conversion, I need to improve metrics, but the how to do it is where it gets a bit tricky.
Yeah. Let me share something, right? So the underwear brand that I spoke with, when I first started with them, they were doing like $100,000 a month or something. And even little tiny things that I suggested to them made like a massive difference, such as like, so lots of ladies on the call that wear bras, I would imagine. You go to this page, right? Actually, you know what? Let's pick a different lady. I will mention the other underwear brand that I work with does ladies that are all from like size 8 all the way up to like size 16 with different busts and so forth. So it's slightly different, but let's look at this, right? So for example, you look at this and little conversion rate tweaks that I told them to do. Well, like, hey, this is Amy in the photo. Amy is a size 10, right? And so women will go, oh, it's Amy. She's a size 10. I'm a size 10. It's going to look like that. And she's an A cup or she's a B cup or whatever. So little tiny things like that, like added like 10 to 20% revenue boost to them, right? Not to mention all the other things on there that we had, like, they didn't have information about shipping. They didn't have, like, this is good, 2 left in stock, order soon. We should change that. We go, hey, like, stock's about to run out, but it's in stock and it ships today. So little changes to the way you language things is really important as well. Like you have no social proof on here whatsoever at the moment, like such as reviews, right? So you should be going, all the women that you know.
There is not all products have reviews, but
yeah. So get this into the hands of all your friends and go, hey, free sample, I need a review, right? As fast as you can, get it up to 10, 20, 30 reviews, right? Even if they return it, or whatever. You just need social proof. Number one thing. because people are going to, waiters are going to go, what do other people say? Right. So little things like this, like discounting already. This feels like a premium brand, and you're leading with like a big red warning, like $47 in red. I'm like, what's wrong with this? Are they running out of business or what? Right? Why is it on sale like that? Size guide is good. Add the cart button is the wrong color, so never have add the cart button. Your add the cart, this doesn't work properly either. So this is called a mini cart. This works better, but like the way that it goes from one cart to another cart, you also have no upsells in here. So where I spoke before about like Aura, I'm like, she needs to increase her average order value. Right here, you should go, hey, you've got this size product, why don't you buy the bottom as well? So now your order is $97, right? So I won't go too much more into here. However, like you're also missing the payment icons in here. You're also missing, what else do we want to put in here? There's a few other things in here as well. Like even if we go to your checkout page, what's going on there? So in here, little changes such as this thing here, you can actually adjust your image there so that it says like, hey, we've shipped like 500 orders or something. So where I'm going with all of these little tweaks are like people in their mind, as they start scrolling through your site and they go, oh yeah, size guide, that's cool. I better order in a hurry. I can order by shop pay, shipping calculator to check. Never ever do that. Like they should know how much shipping is on the product page, right?
And that's an error because it's a flat rate. So I don't know why.
Error. Yeah. There you go. For the way you're laying out your photos as well, your photo should actually be on this side. So when we build sites for people, like they should be sitting here. So you can scan, right? So you got like an image and another image and another image and another image and another, and like 40 images. You've got a blonde and a brunette and a white tan girl and a dark skin girl and because you are selling an aspirational product, right? So all the ladies that come to this page, they want to know, what am I going to look like if I wear that? Number one thing, right? So don't make people scroll for days to find your images. So I won't go too much further into this, but again, like when you guys work with us, we give you this thing, this checklist, that's one thing. Or if we build you a full custom website, we build all of these things into your website. So you never have to worry about it again, right? So does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
And in terms of your story, like you don't have one on the homepage other than we believe what touches your skin should reflect what moves your soul. Curate is the classic AI word. We might change that one. You say we curate and we elevate and like you go, oh, AI is taken over here from Brazil. So there's probably a lot more that you can say around that. You can say stuff like, maybe I'm wrong, but like it doesn't have polyester, it doesn't have microplastics, it doesn't have all the other terrible shit that they put in underwear these days. So, whatever that is, there's a lot more. And the same thing that I said to the first lady, and I'm sorry, I'm rude that I've forgotten your name now. I've spoken to everybody, but like we need to nail your H1, H2, or your trust signals, right? So everyone reads that and they go, boom, 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 boom. They go, yeah, cool, no worries. I know why I'm here. Product photos look beautiful. I look like that when I wear the product. I'm going to give Mary all my money. Right?
I'm sure you will.
Maybe not me, but like, So
Mary, can I ask a question? I saw in the tab, it says high tech underwear. What do we mean by high tech?
I have mainly two kinds of underwear. One is cotton. So it is just very fine, soft, premium cotton. But the other is seamless underwear. So what that means is that like it's made like one piece.
Yeah.
So it's very for people with sensitive skin, like I've had some mothers actually saying that they have like autistic kids and these are perfect for their children. So that's the way, like some underwear have like sensile technology, so it's like breeze, so it's antimicrobial, like there's a whole bunch of treatments that provide very comfortable underwear.
So like all of that stuff then needs to go into like this thing that we spoke about, the brand strategy. because it forms what goes into your ads, and it forms what goes onto your website, and it goes into all of your messaging. So, and then once we help you kind of take what you just said, but curate, what did we use here? We curate it in such a way that your audience then goes, oh, like I'm not just buying based on the features of the product, because most people talk about their products on their website from a feature level, right? And most people do not buy based on the feature level. They buy based on the feeling, and they buy based on how they look to their friends, and they buy, and they, sorry, let me rephrase the last bit, and they spend more money when you're transforming something that they're part of their life, right? So people come to work for me, for example. Think about this. No one comes to me because I go, I'll build your website with 400 conversion points. Everyone goes, yeah, great. That sounds like a lot of work, you know. But they do come to me and they go, I'm going to, inside of like 12 months, I'm going to take you from a $10,000 a month business to like a $250,000 a month business. And then you go, oh, great. And then I go, like, so picture this in the future, Mary, like you'll be sitting with your friends at a barbecue and they go, you've got a 7-figure business now. And they go, oh yeah, I want that, you know, and like, well done, you're doing really good. So e-commerce businesses like yours, you have to think about how do you do that for your brand. People walk into a home and they go, oh, that's beautiful artwork. Your space looks transformed now that you use Naomi's product, right? Or Aura's product, or your product, or like, you know, like you look comfortable and you look more secure in your body because you have periods safe under, I think you mentioned, you know, so you're never going to have leaks, you're never going to have that stuff. We got to talk about that, you know, right? Because if you leak, it's embarrassing, right? So we got to lean into how they feel. Makes sense. I'm getting pretty technical with some of the like persuasive kind of stuff, you know, but it all falls back into your story.
Yeah.
Right.
Should we show them Cool Beans quickly, Paul?
Yeah, Cool Beans.
That one's a little different because they are actually like really benefit driven for this underwear specifically, but it's just a cool visual, I think. And they're up there. Underwear, yeah. Cool
Where
Beans
is it?
underwear. So this is a website we built, I think mid last year, I think.
Yeah.
Specifically underwear.
Yeah, so great example, you know, so it's biomedical everyday underwear for testosterone, sperm health and production, you know, comfort and post-op recovery. So short version is like, you know, it's very hard to conceive. Like conception is like the worst that I think it's ever been, right? So this product exists to help the men with conception, because like the cooler your beans are, like the more testosterone you have, right? So we say that on the site, right? So like this product actually helps do that. So, you know, and a lot of women buy this product for their husband, you know, because women are like, they're getting fit and they're eating healthy and they're doing all the stuff they need to do to conceive. And then obviously there's another party involved, you know, like having children. So they go, what do I need to do for hubby? So we're like, well, this is TGA approved to help you with your sperm count, like buy this product, right? So I know this is a bit different to like obviously what you sell. Yeah, but it's still in the same space, and it's using the same formula. There's the H1, there's the H2. You know, here's some trust signals. Here's more trust signals. Here's more trust signals. Here is the unique selling proposition. There's Sarah who actually made the product. You know, when she was trying to conceive and so forth. Tons of brand strategy all over this website, right? Yeah. Brand messaging strategy. More social proof. You know, you go to their product pages, and I'm going to click here. I'm going to go, you know, there's reviews and there's, you know, two people looking at the product. There is reviews. There is a short description. There is these, like there's a lot that goes into this page. So it becomes very easy to go, yeah, add it to cart. Away we go. Right. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So, yes. Obviously not everybody needs a website as like complex as this site, but like we help people at all stages, right? From brand newbies that just want a website framework in which we sell that to people and they go, you can DIY it and you can follow our course and you can do it yourself, all the way up to you guys just do it, versus all the way up to monster sites, right? So
awesome.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to throw back to Chris now because he's going to talk to you about some even more exciting stuff, and then I'll do some less talking for a minute.
Yes. I'll get my screen up again, guys, and we won't be too much longer here, so I do appreciate everyone being so patient and engaging so much today. It's a really awesome audience, to be honest, so thank you. But I'm just going to get my screen share up again. I have a question to ask everyone, and I want everyone to kind of get a bit vulnerable with me if possible. I know we don't always like sharing, certain things, but I want to know, guys, after listening to today's session, let me know, by the way, can we all see the screen here? Just give me a
Yeah, all
thumbs
good,
up.
Chris.
Yeah, good. Cool. So I want you guys to just share with me in the chat. I want you to rank yourself right now on each of these things, the store, the story, and the strategy. So, how well do you think your website converts? How well are you using the story to get across that message? And do you have a strategy in place to grow this business over the next, 3, 6, 9, 12 months? Now, if you're new, you can just say based on how confident you feel you are. But I want everyone to rate themselves here on a green. That's a I'm doing awesome at it already. A yellow, that's it's doing okay, but could be better. In a red, it needs to change tomorrow.
Uh,
Um, so we can
just
give
do it
you
like I did it. So just write store, red, strategy, red,
yeah,
everything red if you want
nice
to.
simple. Okay.
Or if you're a bit more optimistic, you're like, a bit of yellow, bit of
Mm.
green, bit of fluoro.
I'll give everyone a bit of time. So I see Glenn is store red, story red, strategy strong. Yep, cool. Jeffrey all red. Yep, yep, yep. Cherie story red, store red, story green, strategy yellowish green, yellowish green.
Yellowish green.
That's the first in between I've ever seen in one of these. Jeff's yellow and red. Tennis red, only starting now. Absolutely. James, yellow, yellow, yellow. That's a man who just is very
Humble.
humble. That's the word I was looking for. A humble man. All red from Manny, absolutely understandable. All yellow. Thank you for being really open here, guys. It's the best thing to kind of figure out first where you're weak, to then figure out how am I supposed to grow from here. All yellow, all red, store red, story yellow, strategy red. Francis, red, 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 new. No worries, we'll change that for you. Francis. Aura, store, yellow, story, red. Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing, guys. I think just about everyone here
That's good.
did.
We know if it's ever happened.
Yeah, and look, I do have one more question for you, continuing on from that. And basically, that is, again, after today, sorry, my laptop's freezing a little bit, so it's just lagging there. But after today, the question I have for you is, if we were to help you in any capacity to dial in each of the store, story, and strategy to a green, so all of you had green on all three things, do you think you'd be able to hit your goals with your business or build a business that you want? Do you think that'd be possible if you could do those three in green? Let me know honestly. Yeah, from Glenn. Yes, from Manny. Love it. Yeah. I want you to be honest, guys. If you don't think so, understandable. But yeah, sure thing. All green would be awesome for real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, from Jeff. Yeah. Yes, helpful.
You all would. Trust
Yeah.
me. I can see you're all superstars. You just need some
Awesome.
help.
Well, I appreciate you guys saying that, and I do agree. And I do want to bring you towards like what I mentioned before when I said we'll share how you can continue to get help with us. And I want to introduce you to the e-commerce circle, guys. So this is the place where we help Aussie-based e-commerce brands to nail your store story and your strategy. Okay, this is our private mentoring community. We have about 200 odd brands, about 300 people in there at the moment, and we're growing pretty quick. But basically, guys, if you liked the workshop tonight, if you thought it was helpful, what we did today, obviously this is a free one. It's marketing, so we can't go much longer than an hour, and we can't go into all the detail we'd like to because there's a lot to do in e-commerce. We break all the topics of e-commerce down into calls that go live throughout the week. I think they're all Monday, 10 a.m. at the moment, but we do add and change the schedule as we go. But we do multiple of these calls every single week live, and we break them down into the specific areas of e-commerce. So, for example, if you need to work on your conversion rate optimization, you come to the conversion rate optimization call, and Paul is running it. And basically, he's talking about nothing but websites and conversion rate optimization. And you get a chance to go there, ask him questions, get feedback, and learn from him live. So we have the coaching calls, guys, that are awesome and top notch. Then we also have the course content that goes along with it. So what the course content is really, it's just a way to get up to date with our processes from each of our coaches. So if you're new, you can come in, take the course, you understand how we do the brand messaging process in detail. You get that entire Google sheet that Paul shared earlier. Actually, all of them that we've shared, you get access to. And so
All of them, Chris.
all of them, literally all of
Everything.
them. So this way you come in, you learn the process, you work on it, then you go to the call and get live feedback. And in between the week, you have our Slack channel. Let me know in the chat if you use Slack or not. But Slack basically just looks like this in the left here. It's just I love Slack. Yeah, I know you do, James. Slack is basically just like Facebook, but a lot more organized. And this is where we hold the community. So basically, what happens is you come in here, you introduce yourself, and then you have channels for every single different aspect of e-commerce. So the meta ads, Google ads, conversion rate, brand messaging, SEO, Klaviyo, email. We got a couple of fans in here, which I appreciate the feedback, guys. This is the one-stop shop for everything that you need to learn in terms of e-commerce. And in terms of the coaching, guys, the reason why we're able to, keep up to date with what's working right now, the strategies, etc., is because we have our team of coaches that Paul's put together. These are all A players in their own domains. So I am just clicking to the next screen again, but you can see here, these are just some of our coaches and each expert. For example, we got Lockie, who's our head of meta ads. Obviously, Paul and Chris, who do brand strategy and conversion rate optimization. We have Philip, who's our head of Google. We even have our branding experts, etc. Anything that you'll need, we'll cover it here. But these coaches, they don't just coach, they actually do the service for a lot of our brands that are scaling, who need more one-to-one help. So basically, these guys get results, we grow businesses, and then we teach you guys exactly how we do it live on the calls. And guys, I think I spoke to a few of you beforehand, and I think you were expecting like a lot bigger number when I mentioned what we charge for this community. But the community, the e-commerce circle, to get access to all this, we make it $97 a month. All right, there's no luck in or anything. It's $97 a month to get access to everything that I just spoke about, which is what I think a lot of the people here who are already saying they're in it and love it are actually part of. And the reason why we make it $97 a month is basically because our whole thing is that we want to do bigger pieces of work with bigger brands, but we also know if we can get, say, 1,000 people in the circle that we can help who are just starting to get to that level where they need that next level of help, then we've essentially created our own ecosystem of awesome e-commerce businesses that is like a work funnel for us. So the more we help you guys, the better it is for us. So it kind of works awesome in that way. And yeah, we just do a lot to help you guys grow your brands, basically. Now, there is another way that you can actually purchase with us, and you do get extra bonuses. So what we do
I'll do this bit, right, Chris?
Yeah, go for it, Paul. Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So as Chris said, $97. You know why we do this as well? So there are heaps of other e-commerce coaching communities in Australia. If I didn't charge you for it, then people don't take it seriously. That's the number one thing. However, other coaching communities in Australia, as far as I'm concerned, they're rubbish. They charge you $1,000, $2,000 a month, and all they're going to do is teach you how to run meta ads or Google ads, teach you how to drop ship junk from China. Right? You can't grow a really good e-commerce business without doing that. That's the number one thing that is important, right? You need to understand all the stuff that I've spoken about. You need to understand how to nail your story. You need to constantly be fixing your website, right? So your website is never one and done, right? You'll be making it improve better week after week, month after month, for as long as you run the business. Number one thing. So that's why when we say to people, we're like, here is a good opportunity for you to actually come along and join us and like commit to jumping in and doing this for the next 12 months, right? So we've got this killer offer. I think it's a killer offer because I put it together, but $9.97 for the whole year. And now here's where it gets extra good. You get to go to all the calls. You get to go to get all the courses. You get all the recordings. There's probably like 400 recordings of amazing stuff in there. So people like Jade that Chris spoke about, she's a busy mom. She doesn't go to calls. She watches the recordings when she's got time. Right, she does that. Other people go to the calls, other people do whatever. But special workshop offer that we're doing tonight is if you join, and Chris is going to put a link to connect. Actually, he'll put a link to the checkout, and you can either do the $97 a month thing, or you can do $9.97. Totally up to you. I'm not going to hard sell you. However, if you do get the $9.97, we're going to do a one-to-one session for you, just me and you, for an hour. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in your business over the next 12 months. Right, so we'll do that. Secondary, on that same call, I will fix your brand story for you, right? So typically when I do this for people that are not in the community, I charge anywhere from $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 to do it. So I'll help you fix your H1, your H2, your trust signals, your USB, all the spicy stuff that you need to go on your homepage, right? And then I'll set you on the right path to understanding how to go about completing the full brand document that I showed you before, so that you can even go and make that better, right? So I've never done this before, but my mission is to get like 1,000 people into our community within the next couple of months, right? Because I'm trying to make it very hard for all the other e-commerce communities out there to exist because they're teaching such bad stuff, in my opinion, right? So, and I know I'm upsetting a lot of them because they're trying to get our Facebook accounts banned and all kinds of good stuff. So now, Chris has put a link in there. There's no limit. There's not going to hard sell you, but like, please do this tonight. Lock it in because I need to, then we'll find a time to do this one-to-one on my calendar and so forth. Now, what happens as well, even if we don't speak for 2 or 3 days or something until whenever you're ready to go, buy this now. If you want to do this in 2 weeks from now when you've got more time, that's fine. You've committed, you're good to go. You get access to the community tomorrow, right? Or tonight. If you do this right now, you'll get a link. You join the community, you jump in. Even if you are not confident, just sit in the background, right? Listen to what other people are doing. Go, oh yeah, that's real good. Da, 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 da. Build your confidence up and then keep going, right? So, like I said, never done this before, but you're probably saving a couple of $1,000s on alone by me doing your brand strategy, and then you'll be really, really clear on what you do. And for those of you that don't have a website yet, or those of you that do, or those of you that are doing good revenue, for those of you that watch this later, on that same call, I'll also go through what you need to do when it comes to fixing your site or building a site or getting a custom site done, whatever you need to do. So, as Chris said at the start of the call, our objective here tonight was to help you nail your brand story, nail your website, and have a digital strategy. So I hope that we've done that, and or at least you guys now understand what it is that you need to do. So, got a question here. I have a new silly question. My original plan was to have a business website that would be more about information. I thought with a link to Shopify for sales. Would this be the way? Shopify, listen poll. It sounds like I would. Yeah, I mean exactly. That's the path that you should be going. I think like for you, definitely, Sheree, like getting on. Even we got on the call, right? Say you're confused and you go, I don't even know what to sell yet. Like you buy this thing, you get like whatever we achieve during that hour. Like we can do whatever you want in that hour, right? So if that's fixing your brand, if that's doing pet products, whatever. Like I might talk you out of selling pet products, or I might talk you into selling a different type of pet product, right? So either way, we're going to do that, nail that part of your story. So any questions about this so far? One thing that I like to ask is, Chris, go to the next slide when you can. So I always like to ask people, like, what are you most afraid of? What would happen if you jumped into the community? So I'm actually going to pick a couple of people. This has been pretty quiet, and Manny, you've been pretty quiet. What's your worst fear if you, heaven forbid, you spent $97 for 1 month, of which you can cancel, or you committed to a year, right? What's a couple of things you'd be worried about might happen? Naomi, Francis, Mary, Jeffrey, anyone that's still here?
Yeah.
What do you think, Manny? Hit me
Well,
up.
actually, Paul, I'm quite impressed on how Paul has presented it, and frankly, everything that he said is really spot on. Currently, I am with another academy or e-commerce group, and I was also uh, excited when I joined it because I saw that professionalism and a lot of enthusiasm. But in the middle of it, it's like I was lost, and so I lost my way. But my enthusiasm deep inside is still there because I know what I'm going to do. It's just that I trust easily, and at the end of the day, it's like I was left on my own. And even though I ask, it's like it's always it will cost you. And well, with Paul's presentation today, and yeah, with decrease on this, it's quite convincing. It's just that I have to slap my face. Is this for the real thing, really now? Because you are offering so many good things in there, and I could dissect and really see how you scrutinize every step of the way, but there are also a lot of promises there, which it's like I burned my fingers already in the initial stages and the second stage. And it's like I'm back again on my habit of being impressed on something that really would it really deliver. So
Mm.
it's just that kind of feeling that I have at the moment because what you're offering as well, the fee is really not that huge for such
Mm,
a huge volume of information and guidance and help and services that you're
mm,
going to provide. But I could clearly see your intention of helping us startups
mm.
or those who are caught in there. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of sometimes like you trust and you trust and you trust. At the end of the day, it's like when you look back, you lost a lot because of that trust, which you thought was it doesn't cost us that much really, but
Mm,
with the value you're offering, actually, when I look at it, it's doable. I think everyone has that in their mind. It's doable. It's not really a burden for all of us, but it's it's the that kind of risk that we're taking now that all right,
mm,
will I really get every cent of it? Because at this point in time, those who haven't really realized what they wanted, uh, will this really come true? It's like
mm.
I
So,
don't know.
so
It's just
here's how I de-risk you for this for you, Manny. So, number one, like if for some reason you don't love it or you join and you're like, you know, don't trust us or don't love us or in the first 30 days, you message me at any point in time, I'll give you a refund. You know, in the first 3 months, I'll give you a refund. That's right. No problem. So you're like zero risk, right? But you still get in and you still get access to the courses and the coaching and the calls and the scorecard call every Monday where we help brands and the community, even the community alone, right? I say this like with a lot of pride. Like if I died tomorrow, the community's so good now. Like hopefully they'd be sad that I died. But like we've got such good coaches, and like Chris is one of my business partners. There's another Chris that she's right here, who's a business partner. Like they could still run this thing at such a high level. And even without them, the community is so helpful to each other in the community. I'm talking the members, right? So if you
yeah.
were in there and you're like, hi guys, I'm Manny, and they get to know you and they're like, I'm stuck and I actually don't want to ask the coaches, would someone else help me? The amount of people would get on a call with you and they'd just be like, I'll give you my input. Like it's mind blowing, right? Unlike other communities where there's like, you know, oh, I'm the super hot active wear pants yoga blah 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 person. I'm doing $400 million a month, and I'm like my ego is the size of like a balloon, you know, a in the sky balloon, and like I don't help anybody. Like our community are mums and dads, husband and wife, mum and daughter, helping other people,
Yeah.
right? Number one thing, and like this community, like it will outlast me, and it'll continue to grow and be like that, you know, and also you only get one name in this space. You know what I mean? And so far, like I'm sure I'll have hate. Some people don't like me. I can't please everybody, but you know, like it's very important that find people and I leave them in a far better way than where I found them. That's the number one thing, right? So I'm like, I met Manny like in February 2026. He was just starting his ecom journey. You know, he went off and did his own thing a year later, and he's doing 200 grand a year, and he's whatever. You know, I'm like, cool, good job, did that. Right, that's what I'm about, right? And we
Mm.
also want myself and all the people in our community to be the guy that we needed when we were starting. So like Chris didn't really even touch on much with the coaches, but like for example, you've seen a guy on there, Shane, right? He coaches in that community on the brand call. He's one of the guys that came up with Movember, right? Another guy in there, Ethan, he's a coach in there. You know, he's like works with brands like High Smile. Chris, the guy with the mustache, he's worked in Dubai and massive accounts like Coke and Nintendo and big brands, you know. So these are like serious people that are kind and empathetic and like caring people that want to help people like you guys succeed, right? Not just like, oh yeah, you know, we have 1 million members and they pay us $1,000 a month and blah 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 blah. So
Yeah. I think
makes
touching
sense.
that, Paul, like I think
Yeah.
it's as honestly, Manny, it's just as like simple as our reputation is not worth like $97. It's definitely not worth $1,000 either. So like we can't afford to have people come in, we promise them the world, and then they just are unhappy. Because we got a very small community, people will know. So it is super important to us. You would have seen a couple of people in here even who are just circle members jump in. We didn't ask them to. They just came in and said nice things
Yeah.
because we were looking
Just
at the
jump,
chat.
James jumped in.
So
Yeah.
like I really appreciate that. And like when it comes to Paul, he's really good at working with the big brands. Awesome. And at the same time, no one's done more for the little guys than Paul. I can just guarantee you that. So like if you do want to have a shot at e-commerce, and if you're not willing to just try something for $97, then there's probably not much help we can give you anyway. Like we try and make it no-brainer to get in
For
there.
our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Please,
go watch the YouTube.
At least do that, right?
Yeah.
But like the stuff that we share on the YouTube channel is the free stuff, right? So you know, even then it's still great. But like the good stuff is in here. Someone asked a question, Tennis. Yes, if you have a partner, a husband, a wife, a daughter, or whatever, one membership brings your partner in for free. Because our ethos is we want to make you better and everyone who else works in your business better. So say, for example, like, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name, Tennis, but like if you had a 16-year-old daughter or something and you're like, she's got a big interest in social media marketing, I'm like, send her to the calls, right? So our team are training her how to do stuff. And then she'll be like, Mom, I went to a call now I can do your social media for you. And you're like, yeah, go do that. That'd be fantastic. So we want to equip everyone in your business to be better. Right? Not just you. So you don't have to have 6 memberships if you have 6 people in your team. It's like bring them in as well. Right? So they go to the calls. If they're confident, if they talk. If they're not confident, don't talk. Like I think I'm pretty good at being like, I know that person is incredibly shy. You know, this person has autism, this person has ADHD, this person has that. They don't want to speak or they want to speak a lot. You know, I'm like, cool. We'll support those people however they need to be, like when they're in the community as well. So, and we have people that have joined and know nothing about like marketing, like Paul and Delane that we spoke about, Nature's Pantry. Paul would be the first person to tell you. He's like, he goes, what phrase would he use, Chris? He's like, I'm a tech, I'm a numpty Paul with like tech. These days he's running $120,000 a month doing business. He'd be 60. How old are you? 50s, something?
50s. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's in his like something 50s. He's doing videos. He's like, running the show, running Shopify. Like, so it's never too late to do this stuff as well. So, I'll say a couple more things. So obviously, for all of you that watch the replay, like, thank you for sticking with us. Please follow the YouTube channel. We really do appreciate that. Please send this to people that you think will benefit from it. If you do have any questions, you registered for the event. Please keep an eye out for a call from Chris. Chris will call you. Roxy from our team also. She's going to SMS you. She's going to email you, whatever. And they're all very genuine conversations that these two are going to have with you. Like, we don't have a hard pressure sales culture. We're just like, what did you think about it? How would you like us to help you? And we'll go, this is how we can help you. So like, respond to them if you can. That would be great. I know that makes their day. So I guess for now, some of you have stayed with us for how long have you been on it, Chris? Like ages. There we go. Good. So I better let you get back to it.
You're very engaging, Paul, because like I have another appointment of 30 minutes ago, but I couldn't get up because all you're saying, it really hits the nail on the head, and your down-to-earth personality and very personalized approach, you and Chris, are really very good. It's effective. And
thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm a very critical person, and
Okay.
I am not easily impressed, but and I joined in with a very critical mind because I just thought, oh, maybe this is just one of those. Though you have shown already indications of your personality about following up your members. Like Chris has even texted me since last night about ensuring this and that, and has walked me through. And that actually, those small actions means a lot to people like us who know less, And this is the kind of partnership that we want to come because we would also be good ambassadors for you, for those other friends of ours or families who would want to go into the same line.
Absolutely.
100%. Chris, you're being so generous with that compliment. We do have a link to our reviews. I don't know where it is, but there's a link to leave a review about the workshop. So please do feel free if you'd like to, if Chris can he'll grab it for you now and he'll put that in there. And all we're going to do, if you leave a review, that review basically goes on the same page that you guys probably subscribe to. So other people will go, oh, man, he said nice things. He seems like a guy that's, switched on, and he liked it. Cherie said that, Tina said that, like maybe I'll go and attend. So, if you can do that for me, that would be fantastic. Okay. So, and then a couple of months from now, when you all join our community, then I'm going to ask you for another review. They'll be like, hey, now this is these guys doing 10 grand a month. 20 grand a month, blah, 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 blah. So, but
Yeah.
all right. I better let you all go. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you all in the community tonight. So, see you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.